The Federal Reserve may have to step in because ticket prices are skyrocketing like she's draining threes on the moon, viewership breaking records, and fans are bidding off kidneys for courtside seats. What kind of sorcery is this? Are she LeBron, Steph, and Taylor Swift fused into one? Fans who sold their tickets or whatever suddenly started to focus on the tickets where people think she will be playing, which is starting to make the prices go up and up. The WNBA still doesn't fully understand what they have in Caitlyn Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This is the Caitlyn Clark effect, which is why ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago, and the cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41. Okay, but the cheapest one after her injury was announced, and people knew she wouldn't be playing, dropped to $3. Protect her at all costs. Caitlyn Clark isn't just dribbling basketballs, she's also dribbling bank accounts, media narratives, egos, and the WNBA is being dunked on without even realizing it. Let's face it, there were WNBA players before and after her, and their ticket prices were sitting down before her. Now they're slamming through your wallet and straight into the luxury tax bracket. Don't hate the player, she's really talented, especially for Ping Palangi, who is like the Stephen Curry of the WNBA with the threes and other moves. It's a proven fact that, for example, they had a game scheduled for June 7th that was originally scheduled to feature Adri Reese's team, who plays in Chicago, and Caitlyn Clark's team. Initially, ticket sales were $76 per ticket, but after it was discovered that Caitlyn Clark was injured and couldn't play in that game, sales fell to $25 per ticket. However, what's really going on here is the frantic energy from some WNBA veterans who apparently didn't read the script that states that a larger audience equals more money. So calm down, Caitlyn. Even when she doesn't play, the numbers spike. Merch sales, TV ratings, and security guards are getting anxious because the crowd is acting like Taylor Swift when she shows up at an NFL game. In fact, ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago, and the cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41. Okay, the cheapest one after her injury was announced, and people knew she wasn't going to be there. The Clark effect isn't just a when she scores 30 points, though. It's bigger, it's omnipresent, and it's like oxygen in the arena. The WNBA still doesn't fully understand what they have in Caitlyn Clark, the player who is the ultimate golden goose, the golden ticket, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and they must protect her at all costs. You can argue all you want about whether she is the best player in the league, but you cannot argue that she is the most important because she is more valuable than all the other players combined. And here's the worst part. The reason we're bringing this up specifically is the Clark-caconomics effect. Some WNBA players appear to prefer defending a fast break without shoes to admitting it. You would think the league would throw a red carpet for someone who is essentially bringing the entire organization into the national spotlight like a point guard on a mission from ESPN. But instead, some players are acting as though Caitlyn showed up and stole their lunch money and their endorsement deals. The WNBA is currently dealing with a serious injury as Caitlyn Clark will be out for 2 weeks due to a quad injury. Players miss time all the time, of course, but the Sky and the Fever were scheduled to play in Chicago on June 7th. The opening ticket price was $86 because of the Angel Resource Caitlyn Clark Showdown, which is currently at the box office. Unfortunately, those tickets are now only $25 because of the injury announcement. The game is scheduled to take place at the Bulls Arena at the United Center rather than the regular Wintrust Arena, which means there will be a difference of between 12,000 and 12,000 seats, give or take that. The strangest part is that even on her office francoeur, the impact still erupts on nights when she doesn't wear a suit and the arena is packed, as if people came to see if she would show up. No one else seems to understand it, least of all the players who post passive-aggressive Instagram stories about how much they admire the veterans. 5 million people watched Caitlyn get triple-teamed at half court, but some players don't seem to understand that Clark isn't their rival. Rather, she's their elevator, and they're too busy attempting to cut. The cables on the surface say that everyone is welcome to the league, but underneath are a ton of side-eye body checks and quotes about rookies needing to earn it. Sure, January, because apparently earning it doesn't include being the only reason your next game is on national TV for the first time in 12 years. The irony is that Caitlyn's game doesn't even center around diva antics. She's just out there making logo threes like her shot chart is GPS-powered. However, veteran envy is louder than a buzzer beater in overtime. I believe Kayla is aware that she has the ears of the locker room and the support system behind her, whether it's us or anyone else. I would like to think that she knows it exists and takes the time to make sure she knows it well enough to be who she needs to be for us, because I want the 100% Ken, so I'll take it. Then comes the media circus, because of course the second Clark touches the ball, you've got full support. You'd think the players would be celebrating the publicity, but instead we're getting side commentary like, she hasn't proven herself yet, girl. She's proven more in 15 minutes than some teams have proven in 15 seasons. And then there's the non-game phenomenon. It's ESPN meets National Geographic, with analysts foaming at the mouth and camera angles that might as well be using drones. The league's social numbers spike, and casual fans are suddenly debating zone defense on TikTok. Even though Caitlyn Clark doesn't play, people still act as though she's going to run through the tunnel. While some teams haven't generated that much attention since the Obama administration, all of a sudden one rookie's absence is more noticeable than the home team's entire starting lineup. Despite this, there is a barrage of tweets and defensive remarks from players who act as though Clark invented attention. She's just a rookie, okay, but she's also a rookie who's filling more seats than in your last 3 playoff runs combined. But it turns out that she's human after all, Dan. It looks like she'll be out for at least a few weeks. What's interesting about Caitlyn Clark is that she played in the Final Four last year, and right after that, she went straight to the WNBA draft game. The season didn't miss a beat, but then she took a little break in return, a little injured. I heard you talk about it earlier, and I think it will be fascinating. The cognitive dissonance is insane, Ricky. I've been to Fever games, and the one thing that strikes me is that even when Peyton Manning was the Colts quarterback, there are WNBA stars who have always been Diana Taurasi. However, Clark possesses something that goes beyond basketball culture velocity, just like Serena and Tiger did. It's that strange lightning in a Gatorade bottle that cannot be taught, coached, or copied, and no one is claiming that Clark is flawless. Gets blocked, she gets stripped, she makes mistakes, but even her mistakes are trending. When she takes charge, Twitter goes crazy. She gets hip-checked, and there is a whole debate on sports radio. When she scratches her nose, 5 blogs ask if she's injured. That's power, because she earned it. She didn't just show up, she ignited. If the league was smart, it would be stifling that energy instead of trying to neutralize it with forced elbows and salty pressers. Instead, some players are attempting to make her feel like it's a rite of passage girl. Sorority is a business, and Caitlyn Clark is currently the best salesperson the league has had since its founding. She is a beast, the truth, and a rookie who can make 3-pointers, get to the rim, and reach the free throw line. She is also crafty. Yes, very crafty. So sometimes she looks like she's coming off for a 3-point shot and backdoors you for a layup. She also gets her teammates involved, can pass, shoot, and is the complete drama, because even WNBA fans are beginning to notice the difference in her treatment. Is this how we treat a player who attracts millions of viewers to the sport? Apparently, yes, if you're still in the process of getting over being passed over for a Nike deal. The unfortunate thing is that this should be the easiest alley-oop in league history. Take advantage of the new attention and use it to highlight all the players, sell more jerseys, get bigger TV contracts, and advance the game. Instead, half the league is acting as though Clark's success is an invasion rather than a... Caitlyn Clark may be a rookie, but she already has the ball, the spotlight, the media coverage, and about $50 million worth of market influence circling her like a pick and roll. Whether she's swishing logo threes or just sitting on the bench sipping Gatorade, the Caitlyn Clark effect is in. However, some players are more concerned with gatekeeping than legacy building, which is tragic because this moment could be a golden era if egos weren't trying to play full court, full force, and the league can either embrace it or fall behind in transition. This season was insane compared to previous seasons. Our jersey sales were up 1,193%. The Caitlyn Clark effect is real, and we're excited about it. But it raised awareness of the WNBA and the entire Fever team if we just want to keep it in Indiana. You know, we look at ticket sales that sell out every night, with over 17,000 fans attending our home games. On a Thursday afternoon, Caitlyn announced she was entering the draft, and from that point until Sunday night, we received over 6,000 phone calls, wishing to purchase season tickets. But even something as basic as our amazing mascot Freddie Fever's appearance, requests increased by 150% this season. So you talk about the Fever, the team, which is what we've been working on, because let's be clear, when the crowd yells louder during the warm-ups than during tip-off, you're not just watching a game, you're witnessing a shift. Caitlyn Clark didn't break the WNBA. She simply reminded everyone of how much bigger it could be, and apparently that's a difficult pill to swallow when you believe that the only person with that kind of pull was your agent, and just when you thought things couldn't get any more cartoonishly ludicrous, the WNBA commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, appears out here giving PowerPoint presentations titled How I Saved the WNBA, as if Caitlyn Clark is just an intern who manages Gatorade logistics on the sidelines. Cathy Engelbert didn't set a national merch explosion, drop 40 points against South Carolina in the Final Four, or make men who'd never... The Caitlyn Clark effect is not a team-building exercise. Rather, it is a cultural earthquake, and you are fortunate to be holding onto the rim while it is shaking. Cathy Engelbert writes this lovely article about Cathy for Cathy, explaining why she is solely responsible for the WNBA's boom. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not.
I watched women's sports and suddenly realized what a dribble handoff is, but now she's parading around like a brilliant marketing sorceress who manifested all this with a press release and a vision board, ma'am. However, I am not the WNBA commissioner regarding the league's transfer ahead of a breakout season. What was the plan that Cathy Engelberg implemented? Working with my new WNBA teammates, NBA colleagues, and WNBA owners, we developed a three-pillared strategy. The league would prioritize players, but if you really want to test the theory, just remove Caitlyn Clark from the equation. Suddenly, the roaring crowd looks more like a high school reunion at a silent disco, and the ESPN coverage goes back to being buried under cornhole championships and 2012 bowling reruns ratings. Let's just say they'd be doing the limbo under basement levels. But Cathy is on tour, and every microphone she sees seems to be an opportunity to say strategic growth initiatives, because according to your Q2 marketing projections, the nation showed up out of the blue to watch Indiana Fever games. Nothing says mainstream appeal like the sudden desire to watch teams that couldn't fill the second row at a bake sale 2 seasons ago. She's even treating Caitlyn like a background dancer in the Beyoncé. In the meantime, as we all know, if it weren't for Clark's arrival with her gravity-defying pull, the entire production would still be practicing in a YMCA gym. However, rather than displaying a statue, Cathy is delivering speeches about how hard the team has worked behind the scenes to achieve this growth. If Caitlyn takes a week off, the only thing behind the scenes is the reality check that is waiting to confront you. Yes, you heard me correctly. Cathy Engelberg is singing a saying 2 more. This season, there is a different tune about Caitlyn Clark. Last year, she talked about how all the other rookies were included in this, making a difference and being able to contribute to the WNBA's Big Bang. This time, she is owing it all to Caitlyn Clark. I personally told you that I listened at the beginning of the month because, let's face it, there have been a lot of spooky things going on right now and people are tired of it. If Clark decided tomorrow that she was done, the WNBA would be bubble wrapping Caitlyn Clark between games and hiring the Secret Service to protect her like she's carrying the nuclear codes. Forget load management. The truth is that one player dragged this entire organization into prime time, and now Cathy is trying to rebrand it as a group project. This isn't Cathy's master plan, this is Caitlyn's highlight reel, and the league is just lucky to be riding along for the ride pretending it's called Shotgun. Not only is she a rookie, but she is the star of the halftime show and the entire advertising campaign combined into one. And yet she gets clobbered every game like she walked into a clearance sale with a full cart, drawing more fouls than a vegan cafe's chicken nugget, and the referees are standing there saying, play on, what are we playing, Mad Max Fury Court? However, in her ignorance or delusion, Cathy Engelberg takes credit for it rather than blaming Caitlyn Clark or the Iowan. Cathy says, oh, it's all me, my strategy, my plan, my 3 pillars. Throughout the entire article, Cathy Engelberg mentions Caitlyn Clark's name 2 or 3 times, along with Angel Reese's and Cameron Briggs's names. Let's get right to the point because this article is disgusting from beginning to end. Here's a concept to protect the investment because Caitlyn Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's playing economic resurrection, which is the reason you suddenly need to purchase tickets on resale apps that appear to be. You would think the WNBA would be on DEFCON 1, trying to ensure that their golden ticket isn't limping into press conferences with ice packs stapled to her soul. But instead, they're testing how much physical abuse she can take before turning her into a walking insurance claim. This is your LeBron, Serena, Steph Curry moment, and instead of creating the Caitlyn Clark movie, media outlets are treating the WNBA like a real sports league and not a niche passion project sandwiched between horse racing and cornhole. In this universe, they're allowing her to be tackled as if she walked into an NFL scrimmage, and black and white sports fans are watching for me as well. Oh, the WNBA won't like that, and those Angel Reese trolls online who are attempting to target me and other YouTube channels won't like this too. The bad news is that it's more statistical evidence to support our claims that Caitlyn Clark is driving this entire ship and bus, with everyone else getting in the back. She doesn't need a reality check. Instead, she needs a security detail and a highlight montage that is shown before every game with a do not touch label slapped across the screen. Because let's face it, without her, this season would be as exciting as a lukewarm decaf latte. So give her the props, shower her with praise, recognize her with an award, give her her own rule book, build a hologram statue in the middle of the season, or whatever it takes, because Caitlyn Clark didn't simply arrive, she made an impression, and the WNBA ought to treat her as such.